Marty and I are at the start of our 2-week vacation going to Catalina Island. Our first destination is White's Cove. We had a light easterly breeze, got there in about 5 hours, and here we are at anchor off White's, so right off the beach there at Moonstone. This big yacht was there. It's a $100 million yacht, over 200 feet long, and look at it, even carries a helicopter. This was the mystery boat. People said it had been bouncing up and down there for about 2 weeks. Nobody seemed to know much about it. Me being a junk man, I was several days trying to figure out how to haul that thing back to Newport and get some salvage. There's some guys out there that kept yelling, anybody aboard, anybody aboard. I kind of took a picture of them just in case they were going to sneak aboard and do some mischief. That's that big boat at night. This is, again, a picture of Henry Wheeler's boat, Orange. It's under new ownership now, and they were heading off to the mainland. This is our little cove there at Moonstone. They've got a very nice facility. I think this is a Transpac 50. They got there almost 5 days before the Shiprock race. Every day they went out and practiced. Anyway, we spent 5 days at White's Cove and then sailed on up to the Isthmus and spent 3 days there. Then we're going out to film the Shiprock race. We backed out of the mooring and found we had no power. Luckily, the wind blew us out into the anchorage. We were able to get an anchor down, and we realized that we had no power and we needed to get back to Newport Beach and probably haul the boat. Anyway, the evening before we left, we wandered around the campground and took a nice little hike, went to the store, had a cerveza, just had a great time. The weather was wonderful. It's now daybreak at the Isthmus. We know we got to get out of there while that offshore breeze is still blowing. We got 2 pipe wrenches and a pair of vice grips on the shaft so it won't slide aft and jam our rudder. Anyway, the wind was very light. It usually takes us, I'd say, at the most about 4 to 5 hours for a nice sail back to Newport. It took us 12 hours. Marty would take an hour on, an hour off. And really, we had to just keep close reaching. We got clear up by Palos Verdes, and then we slowly worked down to the breakwater off LA Harbor. That's some of the big container cranes there. These are all guys sneaking out and going to Catalina. It's Sunday. Soon we were down by the entrance to LA Harbor. There were a lot of tankers at anchor out there. The pilot boat was going out, so we're dodging ships. And we're trying to be real careful, not a lot of wind. You can see we still got a reef in our mainsail. I call this geezer sailing. If the wind comes up, I don't have to reef. But anyway, at some point here, we're going to take the reef out because we need some real sail power to get into Newport Harbor in light air. You can see we're going down the beach there off Huntington. That was the pier. That's we're now in the end of the Long Point race. That's Medicine Man going home. We really were racing to try to get to the harbor entrance before dark. There were huge waves breaking over the breakwater, and there was no way we were going to go in. If we had light air and no engine, we would end up probably anchored out offshore all night, which would not be a good, real happy thing to be doing. But anyway, this is the end of this is the finish line. That's the race committee boat from Newport Harbor Yacht Club. And we're just sailing right along with the fleet. A few of them we took starboard tack on. They didn't like it, but we held our course. Here we are safely up at the West End anchorage, and the boat now is hauled out at the Basin Marine, and we're going to get the engine coupled back up to the propeller. Have a nice evening. Bye.